number one law of the universe is progress. Progress, and not competition in that progress. Intelligent substance will make things for you, but it will not take things away. It did it. It eliminated the membership cost so that our customer base could start to expand, like the template is basically demanded. It demanded, we commanded it. We commanded it. At Thy Command. Neville Goddard has a book called At Thy Command. And we commanded it. We didn't know that that's how it was going to show up. That was only one of the ways it showed up. Customer, annual fee, boom, gone. Got to delete it off of the slide on the PowerPoint. So intelligent substance will make things for you, but it will not take things away from someone else and give them to you. Such a powerful, powerful, that's what helps framed up. That's what helped me frame up my vision. How I wrote my 3x5 cards. The principles taught me how to write my 3x5 cards, my template. Well, they weren't 3x5 cards in the beginning. It was my vision, my identity. The principles taught me how to frame it up. That's one of the principles I learned. This is the first book I got. So, but it will not take things away from someone else and give them to you. So that's telling me, oh, when I go to create my identity, when I ask intelligent substance to do something, I've got to frame that up accurately. I used to say, you can't just send the alphabet out to somebody that you're sending a message to. And that's what I was doing prior to. I was very abstract in my goals, in how I internalized the accomplishment of my goals. Yeah, there were some pieces that were narrowly put into place, but the vast majority was left in an abstract way. Man, you could read my vision and there's no abstractness to it. You know exactly what I stand for, what's being accomplished, what the results are that people are experiencing if you were to read my vision. There's no abstractness about it. And it was the principles that taught me to do that. Well, you don't have to know the principles now. You're learning the principles, but if you do the template, you're incorporating those principles. Whether you do it ignorant, it goes both ways. You get the consequences. If you're obedient to principles that are up here, you're going to get the results, even though you may not know, even though you don't know that you're being obedient to certain principles. Just like if you're breaking the principles and you don't know it, still get the negative consequences. It works both ways. The sun shines on everybody. The rain falls on everybody. That's what that scripture means. And to him who hath shall be given more. And to him who hath not shall have even that which they have taken away. They're going to lose their health. It's like a country song. They're going to lose their dog. They're going to lose their health. They're going to lose their house. They're going to lose their spouse. Right? All right. So you must get rid. Hopefully nobody's offended by that. Come on. Try to have fun. You must get rid of the thought of competition. You are to create, not to compete for what is already created. You see that in the world right now, right? And I would say even it's infiltrating into politics. Let's take away and give. Take away and give to those that are undeserving. And we, through the abundance that this country has created that kind of paradigm in the younger generation. They have absolutely, it's unarguable, a sense of entitlement to things that they do not deserve. They have not earned the right. They have not ETR'd. And that's kind of the downfall of abundance if the principles aren't being taught. Now we could keep going further into where the streets are paved with gold and there's no bumps or dips in them. We could literally rise to those heights, but what tends to happen through human nature is covetousness, jealousy, and then all of the bad nature of human beings comes out, and they want to take. But that doesn't have to happen. And there's going to be this time a portion of us that doesn't happen to. And heaven is coming to earth. But there's going to be this chasm that gets wider and wider. There'll be this gulf that divides these two areas right here. It just has to happen. That has to happen. There's always an opposition in all things. Now, you don't have to be the person that's down here. Unfortunately, some people have so blinded themselves that they can't even see the next step forward because they have so driven out the spirit from their lives that there is no light in them. And I would say that's probably about how it was during the time of Noah. People were so blinded, there was no hope for them to move forward. And so what's the purpose? The purpose of the universe, the purpose of God is progress. If as a people, you get to where you're incapable of progress because you're so blinded, then we got to start over. So whether you want to take that on as a true thing that happened, that doesn't matter. What matters is the principle of understanding that there is a point where you can become so blinded that you don't let any light in. But there are, I said this in class yesterday, I said, you guys, it's not that this is becoming bigger and bigger, it's that we're seeing the contrast more and more, because trust me, there are a lot of people who are letting the light in and who are growing and expanding, and not even in what we would say a faith-based environment like inside a church or a synagogue or any other type of religious edifice. I'm talking in the workplace. This is our workplace. And we're talking about these things. We're talking about light and truth. And I said, trust me, this is getting bigger and bigger. And if you're at ease down here, woe be unto you for being at ease down here. Not because you're displeasing God, because your purpose is to be up here. Your purpose is to be up here. So muster up the motivation, set the right goals. It was awesome. I sent them off with a challenge to write down 10 things they're grateful for every night before they go to bed. 10 things they're grateful for. That would be a new behavior. And I had the audacity to say, I don't know that any of you will do that. That's the call to action. It will change your life. Absolutely. If you do that consistently for the next 30 days, it will change your life. But to be honest, I don't know that any of you in here will do that. I said that. Now, why did I say that? In hopes to motivate somebody and inspire them to say, oh yeah, I'll show you. I have faith in humanity. It keeps me going. You do not have to take anything away from anyone. You do not have to drive sharp bargains. You do not have to cheat or take advantage. You do not need to let any man work for you for less than he earns. You do not have to covet the property of others or to look at it with wishful eyes. No man has anything of which you cannot have the like, and that without taking what he has away from him. This was like a drink of nice, cool water in the middle of the desert. And I live in the middle of the desert, so I know what that's like. So this book was helping me to start framing up the goal in the right way. Did you see how this would be changing me as I was reading it and how I was going to start to govern myself? You are to become a creator, not a competitor. You are going to get what you want, but in such a way that when you get it, every other man will have more than he has now. You mean when I get what I want, others will have more than they have now? Ooh, that sounds like David Gikandji's book. someday a company will come along that will have amazing products that change people's lives, but those products will also make them wealthy, the customer. And in return, it'll make the company more money. Isn't that exactly what that sounds like right there? You are going to get what you want, but in such a way that when you get it, every other man will have more than he has now. And I experienced that with the products. Oh my gosh, did I experience that I had more. I'm aware that there are men who get a vast amount of money by proceeding in direct opposition to the statements in the paragraph above, and may add a word of explanation here. Men of the plutocratic type who become very rich do so sometimes purely by their extraordinary ability on the plane of competition. And sometimes they unconsciously relate themselves to substance in its great purpose and movements for the general racial upbuilding through the Industrial Revolution. Rockefeller, Carnegie, Morgan have all been the unconscious agents of the supreme in the necessary work of systematizing and organizing productive industry. And in the end, their work will contribute immensely toward increased life for all. Their day is nearly over. They have organized production and will soon be succeeded by the agents of the multitude who will organize the machinery of distribution. Whoa. I used to talk about that a lot. I still do. I've said it, even recently, that if we look back just through modern history and see how they did work on the backs of people. We had sweatshops right here in the US. And I would say, and sometimes I would emphasize it more, those people, although they had their own free agency and were working on the backs and the sweat of others and not paying them what they were worth, they were being used ultimately by the progress of the universe. They had to create stepping stones to get to where now industry, commerce, and trade, products and services could be accessed more readily and be more readily available. That's what that did. It created commerce on a whole nother level. It wasn't just farming and agriculture anymore. And the individual sustaining their own life through agriculture. And there's only so much progress you could make. There needs to be greater wealth. There needs to be greater access. There needs to be greater freedom. And so, yes, that industrial age needed to come about. It found its way to do that. It's like they say in the line in Jurassic Park, nature always finds a way. And so it doesn't violate the rights of anybody and their freedom of choice to do that, but it will use them. It will use the channels. And so those channels were set up, but then very quickly disposed of. Now they still exist in some other countries, but we're leading the way. And then that moved into mom and pop stores, brick and mortar, where you can open your own business. And they were taken to court just like network marketing was. They were a threat to the industrialists, the Carnegies, the Morgans, the Rockefellers. The mom and pop stores were no longer having to be under the thumb to exist of these tycoons. And they were taken to court because there was a threat there. So was Amway. Amway was taken to court because who were they a threat to? The mom and pop stores and the bigger chains. And who won? Amway did. Why? Because it was the right thing. The universe said, no, Amway is going to win. And a way was provided. And then through that, now we have, I would say, a way to self-actualize on the highest level and then create a new high level called isogenics. I could see that, and I could see that because I read this book. Things started to become more clear to me. And also the things that people are going through in their lives down here. Not because they want to go through those things, and not because they deserve to go through those things. It might be the exact opposite. They actually deserve things because of where their heart is and their desires, but they're not principally aligning those desires in a way that they need to reach the goal. However, there are great people with love and that desire of more for all. They're just missing some of the principles. They miss that class. And so they're experiencing bad things here with their health, with their family, with their loved ones. But that's all based on, do you see how that could open up your perspective now? Not just with our business and history and what I just went through, but in every area of everybody's life. It helps you to actually, and some people in the faith base, they wanted to burn the book. They wanted to burn the movie The Secret. And how saying that it's taking God out. No, it doesn't. It helps you to see God more. It helps you to see the face of God much more clearly and empowers you instead of having to justify irrationally and erroneously down here. So I'm going to stop there. I don't know what time it is. Good. Hopefully this is making sense. This is about the whole you, right? Yeah, it's about you building your Isagenix business, but there's going to be a time when the Isagenix business, just like the things that you get to buy, are no longer a part of your existence. Moth and rust corrupts, right? It nothing in this mortal world lasts. That company, this company Isagenix, won't exist in heaven, but the principles that it's based on will. So do you see how, again, this is about the whole you and a way of applying it in the practical application. The practical application of these principles. It's the best vehicle to measure, like a barometer, like a thermometer measures the temperature and the degree that that temperature is. Isagenix and your cycles every week measures your ability to apply these principles. They're synonymous. Personal development and Isagenix is synonymous with your success. And so it becomes this barometer by which we can measure ourselves and not fool ourselves, not betray ourselves. It's the results have got to be there if you're doing the do. It has to be there. You can't stop the success. And so, yeah, there's the call to action. If you choose to, we need the Mission Impossible music right now. Dun 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 dun. If you choose to accept this mission, right? What else is worthy of your time? What else? What other vehicles worthy of your time, energy, and effort? So let's be wise, all right? Let me see, unmute all.
Well, they probably patched that one.
Yeah. Got rid of the other one.
You can unmute yourself. If anybody, go ahead, Jana.
Hey guys. Okay, so Jojo gave me a really good visualization and I just wanted to share it, and I'm going to post the poster that I make of it. It's 3 pictures and super good visualization to remind us of the process of this whole system. So it's about surfing. And I've never surfed before, but the pictures made so much sense to me. So when you get on your surfboard, right, you have to lay on your belly and you have to paddle out. You have to go out to where the waves are going to be. And that takes work. That takes muscle, right? That's the grit. And then you sometimes get out there and there's no swell, there's no wave. So you're just sitting on your board. Are you fearful? Are the sharks going to come bite your toes? What are you thinking while you're just sitting there waiting? And then the wave comes. Then it's that excitement and it's that adrenaline. You get up on your board and you're riding that wave and you have that thrill of getting on the board and riding it out. But it's a very short ride, right? That doesn't last very long. And that is such a good visual for me. And I hope it speaks to somebody else. That's why I shared it, because, when you get that enrollment, it's like, whoa, yes, I did it, but it doesn't last. Like, you got to keep going. You got to, okay, I'm off my board now. I got to get back out there. I got to paddle back out. All right, I got to sit there and wait for the next wave. And then again, the wave comes, you get on your board, you get that enrollment, you get the ride, you get the adrenaline, and you do it all over again. So that's it. I hope that encourages someone, because it really helped me, and I can't wait
Yeah.
to make my poster and hang it up. So
I'm glad you shared that. I have chills, and they're still going. If you could see the hair. Oh my God. And the goosebumps, raised hair and goosebumps.
Yeah.
That is a perfect analogy. I did serve. It's one of the reasons I didn't graduate from high school. And it is so true. And they gave me a surfboard. I have a surfboard hanging on my wall here. JoJo and the team gave me a surfboard, and it talks about riding the wave. And it's so true. And the waves don't last, but the waves never stop. They just keep coming. But yeah, then you have to paddle hard again. And it's if you're not in shape, it'll kick your butt. So, but then you do. When I first started surfing, I was sore. My whole upper body and chest and shoulders were sore. But as you keep doing it, I'm not changing. I'm still paddling out to the waves, and the work hasn't changed. It's my ability to do it has improved. The strength, the resistance training has paid off. And now I have the strength to paddle to the waves with ease. And you always have to paddle to the wave to ride that next wave. I love that because the work never stops. There's that entropy. And like you said, it doesn't last. The waves don't last. And that's a really good one. I like that, the way you framed it up. Very well said. Yes, Diane, go ahead. Diane, did you want to say something?
The point that you made is that you get stronger so that you can do it with more ease, or you understand the principles deeper. They function for you, not quite automatically, but it flows forward. Like your voice flows forward, mine will eventually get better and better talking about all of this.
Exactly. You guys want to teach what you're learning today to your cat, your dog, I'd be careful with spouses, because sometimes that puts up a wall with spouses. They don't want to be taught by their spouse. So call somebody, you guys mastermind with each other, or call somebody on your team, share what you're learning. That's how you internalize it. You got to figure out the words and framing up those words. You might get it in your head, but then you go to speak it and you're like, oh, it's not coming out the way that I get it.
Yes.
So then that refines that process you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to do that, you guys. If you want to really own this stuff and it to become a part of you, call somebody and teach them what you're learning. Just say, hey, I need to have you as a soundboard right now. Sounding board, right? And let me share this with you. So yeah, good stuff. And the resistance training, when you were saying that, there was something that came up for me. The resistance training, it does get easier, although you have to keep doing it. Yeah. Even though but you got to do it enough. I don't know. I just had an aha moment while you were saying that. That's how the spirit works, right? It comes and goes. That's why you need to write things down.
Right.
I need to write things down. Anyway, good shares, you guys. All right, anybody else?
Hey, Dave, Digna.
Hey. I love it. There it is.
Come on, Dave. Da-na-na.
Da-da-da-da.
Thank you, Dave.
We probably need to have that play. I need to play that every morning.
That's it. Oh my God. Thank you, Dave. We are so blessed on this call. I'm just like so excited. Like when I hear you, Dave, and the way you break things down for us and make it so real. And what you're saying about teaching this, it's when it comes to fruition for me. Like I do it in Spanish for my team. So I try to copy you and I have your recordings and I listen over and I take notes. And then when I do it for someone else, it's like it gets in my brain at a whole different level. Like I feel like, oh my God, I am doing the work. I'm finally, I'm doing what you're doing with us, which is so powerful. And then the other thing, I had a couple things that you said before, right? It's supposed to be easy. It's supposed to flow, right? It's not. It doesn't have to be a struggle to do what we do and to be blessed and to, and to have all the money and success or whatever resources and time that we want and that we're supposed to have to do the things that we want to do. And then I was just thinking about two things. One of them is the way things used to be. If we look back 20 years ago, and you spoke about that at the beginning, how difficult it was to get information, just to get a computer up and to get internet. That was so hard to do. Like, oh my God, how did you get this dial-up thing to finally click it?
Who's on the phone right now? Get off the phone. I'm on the internet.
I know. And I was thinking when I was in college 20 years ago, trying to do a term paper. Oh God, I had to go to all these places and get all this together and no sleep for days. And my kids in second grade, my daughter's talking about, oh, we did a Zoom today. She's in fifth grade. I'm like, you did a what? Yeah, we had a webinar in my class today. I'm like, what? I'm like, oh my, I did that in college. I didn't have webinars. So I'm thinking about, it's supposed to be easy. And I look at how our lives have changed since, now we're both working from home. And I pinch myself and I'm so grateful every morning. And I said, Lord, my God, we work hard because we did do the grind, right? We went all over the country whatever, 25, you name it. We still do it, but it's supposed to get easier because you're in alignment with what you've been asking for. And this template, Dave, and putting the vision together and being consistent with every day, 3, 4, 5, every time I'm listening to myself, I'm looking at what I want to accomplish and how I framed my vision. And I'm like, it's supposed to get easier. It's supposed to be something that it comes natural because that's who we're supposed to be. And give it to others is when it really, my God, it changes everything. So I'm so fired up every day. And when you talk about, the company takes the $29 off of the membership for the clients, we are asking for this, how we framed that vision to have customers to be too fired up about the products. And I hear the team, I've never been in a company in 15 years my guys and the ladies, they telling me about this other products. They like, did you try this one? Oh my God, this is so awesome. And look at the ingredients of this one, because they're loving the products. They're getting the results. The company continue to do things to help us get that vision as to make it a reality. So I'm just very blessed to be here to listen to you and to be part of this group, and let's just keep moving. We have a big job to do. There's a lot of people out there that do not know and understand what we have in our hands. So
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Well said. And it reminded me what I was going to say. And also you added more to it's like the thing that came up for me right there at the end when you were talking was, ask not what the company can do for you, but what you can do for the company, right? I mean, you guys, that's what we did with that template. And then the universe said, your wish is my command. And you never know how it's going to show up. You don't know the how. Stay away from that as far as how it's going to show up. You do know what your income producing activities are. You do know that smaller how. Here's what I'm going to do and how I'm going to get into action today. How it's going to manifest my goal, I don't know. Okay, don't go there, because then that leads you to thinking about sharks in the water while you're waiting for the wave to come. Just stay in the identity of the template. And you guys, it's so easy. I don't know how many people are still treating that identity like they treat breathing. You've got to do it, and you've got to do it with excellence. And that's the point I was going to make earlier. That resistance, it's always going to be there. That easy to not do and easy to do, they're both going to be there. But the ease of not doing it is just a little bit easier than the ease of doing it. It's simple to do and simple not to do. It's easier to not do it than it is easier to do it. Even after you've gotten the resistance training and you don't feel the pain anymore. I still had to go through the mode of putting my wetsuit on, getting used to the cold water, and getting beat up by some waves, and that had to happen every time, along with being able to not feel sore anymore. So you're always, but what? If I don't take that on, what's the alternative? If I don't do the template every day, what's the alternative? And that was something that I was just not going to settle for. It's not in my DNA. I might get upset. I might have my wall kicking moments. I might do my template with an attitude that's not worth catching that morning. but I'm still going to continue to do it throughout consistency in the long term. Because what is the alternative? So with that kind of attitude, with that becoming a part of your DNA, you guys, they could put us in hell and we'll turn hell into heaven. It doesn't matter where we go, we'll turn it into a heaven. Look, if I was in one of these countries where they're quarantined, you know what I would be doing? I would immediately come up with an identity and a vision for the highest, grandest version of being in that environment. Immediately, that's what I would work on. Okay, how am I going to frame up the identity now that I'm being quarantined? And is that a possibility here? Sure. I'm not going to cross that bridge until it's there, but I know that I'm going to frame up a vision that's going to be awesome in that environment. And what has to happen? The universe always wins out. There's nothing that can stop it. No arm of flesh, nothing could stop that divineness that's within us. And when the universe has your back, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. So, again, just great stuff. I love this masterminding part. It just, the floodgates start to open. Anybody else want to share anything? All right, you guys, let's have an awesome, awesome day. We've had an awesome, awesome day today. It was such an awesome day today. And it's so exciting to be alive and the progress that is being made for us, by us, with us, everybody's included. And, you know, we are the game changers. We are those points of light. We are the breath of fresh air at every turn, in every conversation. All right, you guys, have a great day. We'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.